Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show.
Hello, I am Ophios.
Hello, Ophios. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oh, Yondis, nobody wants to hear you talk.
I'll stop.
Oh, thank you, Yondis. Oh, God.
Problem.
How's your day going, boyos? How was your week? Oh, Tyler, I saw you 2 days ago, but how was your week overall?
It's been okay. I've been busy. I streamed like 9.5 hours or something like that yesterday.
Nice.
And today I went to an appointment and immediately got back from the appointment, and then started streaming, and then rated you because I was like, oh, come across here. So I've been like, also crazy thing happened over at my channel. I had the first 100 gift sub drop.
Whoa, 100 gift subs?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was absolutely insane. For the record, my jaw for like 5 minutes after trying to read off everybody's names actually hurt.
I bet. That's a lot of names.
Hurt.
That's a lot of names. Jesus, dude.
It was crazy.
Do you remember the name of the person that did it?
I can't think of it off.
Yeah, because you read 100 names after that one.
Well, I didn't read the exact statement. I can pull it up and tell you the name.
Absolutely. Share some love.
There's so many names. They're actually a game developer. They're creating a game, and I promised them that I would play that game. It was Glasswin. Glasswell.
Actually, I think Glasswell has done donations over on Lost Initiative as well. They must have come to Lost Initiative from you. That's amazing.
They not necessarily me. They follow Patrick, Gar, myself. A number of people. Glasswell's just a genuinely great person. There's a lot of great persons in here. Snowell is a great supporter. Sinatra Girl in chat. Silencio Steve, we can't ever forget.
Silencio is amazing. I mean, there are a lot of people that have been big supporters on this channel, Lost Initiative. I'm sure your channels and stuff like that as well. So I mean, it's just you have to show the love for everybody.
Okay, I just saw what you put on Rena's screen, and I was like, really? Oh my gosh, Sinatra Girl! Don't talk about the Freudian slips of words from the last stream.
Okay, well then, we'll leave that one alone. Did you see the artwork that Snowell did for you?
What?
On Twitter?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I liked it.
Yeah, nice tail. Good placement. Anyways, so we'll leave all that. You know what we need, Tyler? We need a sponsor that gives some sort of cerebral enhancement, like some sort of like I don't know, energy brain beverage sponsor, just to keep going, going.
Are you talking about G Fuel? Are you trying to get that sweet G Fuel sponsorship?
I don't know what G Fuel is.
Oh, this fucking boomer.
You trying to get like Monster or Red Bull? What are you trying to get?
Oh God, no, those are terrible for you. I'm talking about something that gives you like natural bonuses, like lion's mane or like a ginkgo biloba or something.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I'm talking about natural things that are good for you, and you're like, how about heroin?
Which?
I did not say that. I did not say heroin.
I feel it.
The only time I say why is Messi's thing big on my screen? Wrong words, gosh darn it! I'm struggling today. I am on the struggle bus. Why do you have 2 health? First of all, Yondis, and part 2, why did your icon become big on my screen?
I have 2 health because I fought someone.
You didn't fight. I watched the episode. You jumped.
I jumped out of a window though.
White Claw sponsor. There you go.
Damage.
Sativa is pretty good. All right, so a marijuana sponsor. It's legal here. There you go. All right. Anyways, let's. Why are we?
For a second, I looked over at the Twitch sidebar and I thought it said Rena was live, and I was like, "What is happening? She's bailing on us."
It's just.
All right, so let's get back into the game. I'm gonna actually allow Messi to give us a.
What I did for my break.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
There was a hurricane that completely missed us, but I still got 4 days off of everything. Like work was closed, I was in an evacuation zone, so they wanted me to leave, and I didn't. School was closed. I didn't do anything for 4 days, and I got sick.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. What were we doing?
So, are you feeling better?
Well, I'm glad you're okay too.
I mean, I would tell you look pale, but
That's just the lighting. In real life, I'm like,
I'm pretty sure I look the most tan out of everybody every
Which is true because I think you and I are about the same skin tone. I think because I have ultra whites here because we've met. I think you and I are about the same skin tone. Messi actually is pale.
I'm super pale.
Yeah,
Well, the difference between me and you, Scott, is your hair makes your skin look darker. I don't really. My arm hair is like clear. So.
But like, I am not this pale. It's like I'm looking at myself in the camera. I am not that pale.
Yeah.
That's all right. It can look like I don't spend hours outside at a playground with my daughter, playing with other children.
Nerd.
Yeah, nerd. That's it. Mm-hmm. All right, so back to Messi. Now that we totally heard about your day, which we all cared about.
Hold on, I need to correct a quote that's in chat. Abusive Naga said, "Why is Messi's thing on my screen?" I said, "Why is Messi's thing so big on my screen?"
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I can tell you the first part.
Well, I had a magnifying. Don't do that, Scott. It's there again.
Okay, so let's Messi. Why don't you give us a recap of what happened last session?
Oh fuck. We snuck into a little place. We met with this guy.
You failed to get a book. I know that.
We went to a library. We didn't end up checking anything out. And then we went and saw the commander. He was pretty nice. And he turned one of our friends inside out, and I jumped out of a window. And then everything was on fire. I think that's a good recap. I think I got 90% of it there.
Turned one of our friends inside out, and I jumped out a window. Sorry. All right. So yep. Last time you guys went, tried to sneak into a tower, got caught. Killed the guards, tried to be secretly, got caught. Made friends with the guy that caught you, stuck into a library, got changed. Stuck around for a little bit. Tried to sneak into the commander's place, got caught. Tried to sneak into the commander's place again, got caught. And then as you finally stuck into the commander's place got set on fire, which aided you. And then you guys ran away. Marina had a conversation with a mysterious fella. You woke up the commander with a horribly failed check. Commander turned your friend inside out, and you ran away.
And you failed to get a book that turned into itself.
I think my last 10 checks were all fails because I did not stick the landing when I jumped out the window. Didn't nab the book. I had 2 chances and I messed them both.
You're right. A failed Constitution save by Leo turned him inside out. Giannis failed his acrobatics with a 10. You did good on initiative.
I did do good on initiative.
Your sleight of hand was a 9, which failed, and your luck
that
pool failed also
yeah.
because you didn't have any luck, even though you tried to delay the roll.
Do you guys have any luck?
No. Well, we didn't when we ended the last session.
No, they used all of the luck with
I don't know if you have any luck. We're gonna have to find out the first time we try to use it. All right, let's get into the game. So the two of you had snuck out of the region of the city and started sneaking back towards the meeting point where you're supposed to meet up again. Originally, the meeting point was going to be way down by the water, and then you started moving it forward. Let's move forward and see if we can find a meeting point for further up. But then after a little fight, we kind of got the drop-ons, slightly had the drop got on you with some guards. The idea was, okay, let's continue moving the meeting point a little further from here, but then Ophios disappeared. He ghosted. And Vaku, whatever his name is, effed off as well. And then you guys continue moving forward, did everything that we just discussed, and you're on your way back. The question is, where would you try to rejoin with Ophios again? Do you want to go all the way back down to the water? Do you want to go all the way back down to the water? Do you want to go to where the combat was? Like, what's the plan for where you want to meet up with them?
I noticed that you didn't have my green screen on, so I was like, hey, they can finally see the creeper in my window. So
I can activate. I can activate green screen. That's not an issue.
It'll hide my creeper though.
That's okay.
It'll hide your creeper. Nobody wants to see your creeper. It was already too big on my screen. Scored one there. Oh, now it's me that I'm real big on my screen. That's
Careful, it might explode on you.
That's a good looking thing.
Hey, that's a good looking Ophio. What is that background? Looks like it's flipped. It doesn't look right.
What's the background?
Yeah, the background on Ophios.
Oh, it's the same thing as the background in you. Yep.
It looks bad.
Yep, that's cool. It's because I did it and I'm bad. I have no graphic design art training whatsoever. So come on, talk to me here. So where is it that you want to rejoin?
That was 2 weeks ago, dude. I don't remember.
That was last week.
Was it? That was last week, dude. I don't remember.
Wait, did you survive a hurricane or something?
Well, we didn't really get one.
It's not a decision that was made last week. It's where do you want to go with Rena to stop and try to have Ophios meet up with you?
I thought they didn't meet back up. I thought Yondis jumped out of the window and they never met back up.
Oh, he went to go meet up with her.
Okay.
He went to go run. They met up inside the library. They ran into each other inside the library, grabbed some stuff, and left.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So I guess I mean the last place I can remember us all being at together was the lake, the little lake place.
That would make sense for the meeting place as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
So that's a few hours trek back down. That whole walk back down, do you try to speak with Rena at all? Or is it one of those, after everything that just transpired, you kind of keep it to yourself?
I mean, I'd love to, but she's on a call right now, so she's busy. She's talking to someone.
Okay. I mean, she was not doing anything. She was just going to walk.
I'm saying she's not here.
Yeah, no, I know, but did you want to speak with her about anything? Because Rena actually left me a list of notes of things that she would have her character kind of ways she would have him react if
really?
you guys engaged with her at all. Not that you need to RP with fake Rena.
Okay, well, there's two options. I could say all the stuff that happened, and then you could reply with Rena's messages if she left them, or we can just say that we had a conversation and then flash back to it another time.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. All right, so huh?
Not that I don't like talking to you.
No, it's fine. So you guys make your way back down to where that area is. It's relatively quiet. You guys only do very little speech the entire way, but it's a multi-hour walk in the middle of the night down there. Luckily, both.
Yondis, roll a perception check.
Oh shit.
You'll see why, Scott, if you open Zoom chat.
Oh, I saw.
Okay.
I can't really open Zoom chat, so I can see it for like the 15 seconds it sits there and then disappears.
Okay, I can send it elsewhere in the future. Yeah, you don't notice.
Okay. Unless I use a dice. I won't.
All right,
Unless
so
Scott wants me to roll something.
nope, you're good. So you guys make your way all the way back down to where the area down there, and by the time, because again, how late it was that you were doing everything. By the time you get down there, you can see the sun. The light on the horizon is just starting to go from that deep midnight blue to a couple of shades of a lighter blue. You know, you've probably got like another hour or so before sunrise happens. At best, you have time for a short rest. So if you'd like to utilize a short rest, now is your time to do so, Messy.
Okay. Yeah. Short rest is just abilities, right?
For you, you're just going to roll your hit die to heal yourself.
Oh, yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Do you really only have 2 health?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got fluffed up.
Well, now I have 6.
Well,
or 8.
Yeah, you can roll again if you'd like. Because you have 2 hit die.
Just in case something bad happens.
There you go. That's pretty sweet, actually. You healed, was that 14 plus... That gives you to 16 max health.
Yeah, he maxed out. Perfectly.
That's awesome. Good for you.
I feel a lot better now that we walked it off.
Yeah, walk it off.
My legs back into place.
All right, so you guys get down there. You have enough time for like a short rest, which is relatively quiet. Ophios, I imagine it's around sunrise, probably the tail end of their short rest, that you would finally start making your way into the camp.
Yep. That would make sense.
And you can make your way in. Everybody's a bit tired, but not completely exhausted. You know what I mean? So as you come walking into the camp, you know, the party can see you walking in, and the party can see you walking in. You obviously see them. Do either of you say anything right off the bat?
Well, I will say that my character looks like he's seen a ghost. Yondis is not comfortable with what transpired at that place, and it's been a pretty quiet walk back. He doesn't said too much.
Ophios would probably notice that and say, Looks as if you've taken some frights. And perhaps hurts a bit. Looking at your clothes.
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Well, what's perhaps would you say, Sprinas?
Her response is, would have been nice if you showed up.
I was around, taking cares of others' things.
She doesn't respond. She just continues. She just gives you like a pissed off look and continues going about what she's doing.
Acceptable scenes as it seems. Troubles happens.
Yeah, she's been mad the whole walk back. Hey, Ophius. You're you know magic, right?
Ones could say.
Yeah. Have you ever seen someone's insides on their outside?
I mean, I've sliced minis opens.
All at once?
Scott, would Ophios have seen that?
No.
Okay. Not as you speak it.
That's what I thought. I need to think. Mind if I know it's morning, but I think I could use a little bit of a rest if you don't mind. Just add to the party.
Rena would be like, looks like some people already were resting. I'm good to travel.
As am size.
I'm sure you are.
You
Okay,
know, I didn't sleep at all either.
I'll just stay awake. It's all right. We don't need to. It's okay. Yeah, we got stuff to do, right? Let's talk later then.
She already has her backpack on her back and is starting to like walk out of the camp area, like heading down towards the where it is that the town is. Let's bring up that map so you guys can actually see it in case you don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Think I remember anything?
I remember this map. So they were working in Adlama, right? Or the camp outside Adlama?
Yeah, you guys were actually inside Adlama. Where it was that the area was that you guys actually had your little what the hell that would be called? Your
Isn't
little,
it like down here on this like foothill or something?
Yeah, I was actually gonna draw a cute little like. Hold on, what that is it? This one to make it a circle? Yeah, I'll just do it like this.
Wait, we were in Adlama?
Yeah, Adlama is what you were just attacking.
Shit, I had something sent there.
Oh.
Scott, can I roll a perception check to see if I had seen the fire that had happened?
In Adlama?
The one outside or whatever that had happened.
So
Wasn't there one that distracted? Was that in Adlama?
Oh, that was the place. The place was set on fire and tons of slaves got free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was one of those things that lit up the sky. You can imagine for many miles people saw that fire.
Hmm. Well, our plans becomes more difficult with the fires. Minis maze beheadings this ways. We must act fast if we are to do what we set to do.
Oh, yeah, I think our objectives might have been a little bit different. We were just doing reconnaissance, right?
Well, at first, but the commanders must dies.
You know, she says from like looking over her shoulder because she's clearly can walk faster than the two of you guys, being the more nature E1 out of the three of you. She looks back over her shoulder and says, "You know what, Ophios?" And then she'll turn around and say, "Maybe he would have died if we had somebody there to help us, because you know this was your job."
Trust me, he would not have died. We would have all died, actually. I don't think. Look, and I'll look at Rena. You know how I said something bad happened to Leo? Yeah, he was the one whose insides became his outsides very quickly all at once. And the commander is the one who caused it.
What are you talking about?
Look, when I went into the commander's house, I searched through his desk. He didn't have anything out of the ordinary. It was just normal plans, nothing important. But in his study, right? In his study, he had a book. Okay, and it wasn't a normal book. It was like made of wood or something, and it glowed and it smelled nice. But there's more to it. He didn't look Perrin, and he's obviously a lot more powerful than any of us. So I think maybe we should just drop it and find something else. I don't know.
What did he looks like?
He looked like a Perrin that was like 600 years old, but he was obviously like less than 100. I don't know. He had
The
big
ones who came to us spoke the truths. Based on that
Rena's
book,
Rena's gonna stop like charging forward, and like we'll have stopped, not like stopped short abruptly, but would have slowed down and kind of like turns, like conversation like naturally flowed into you guys more or less standing there and facing each other. So she's listening. Sorry.
Would Ophios, based on the description of the book, have any idea as to what it could be?
You have a general idea that it probably is, just like in this world, mages use books to keep track of their spells. Very likely it could be something like that, but with their own unique magics. However, you're not entirely sure because you've never seen anything like that before. You're used to, you've only seen them and trained against them.
Yeah. Yes, the commanders must be killed.
Look, I don't disagree. This guy was terrifying.
He is the reasons I am here.
You're not listening to me, Ophius. He literally turned a guy's insides out. Okay?
It matters not his powers. I am trained for this purpose and this alone.
Can you stop magic?
I can kills magics. Users.
This is different. I'm telling you, this is different.
Rena's actually like looking at you and is trying to like judge whether or not you're being a lack of a better phrase, like a drama queen, or if you're actually being like legitimately, you know. She unfortunately is just kind of getting the impression that maybe you're just kind of overreacting to something that you saw, maybe misexplained. She's kind of giving you, she's listened to you for a bit, then she starts giving you that like skeptical look, like.
I noticed that.
Is she gonna say anything?
Nope. She's just like, she's letting him say his piece.
Look, don't be so stupid about this. Okay? He literally killed someone in front of me with a snap of a finger, okay? It was fast. I barely had to jump out of a window. I almost died.
When it's be the first times.
You know what? Go ahead.
At this point, Ophios is going to roll an insight check whether he's being serious about this guy's power and also if he's being sarcastic in this moment.
Go ahead. Poor Messy. You need us to roll decent, and unfortunately we both rolled garbage.
Yep.
So Rena looks at the two of you kind of like watching this happen, and the fact that it kind of drops off, and he seems frustrated that he's not getting through, and she's like, so what's the plan? Talion or Adlama? You gonna go and talk to the locals, or you gonna try to kill the guy? You know what? Before you even answer the question, are you even gonna come?
I'm not going back. If that's what you guys decide to do, you can go die alone.
Ophios is looking at him and like, yes, are you going to join us? Or are you going to run like cowards? Looking at Messy, completely ignoring the fact that Rena was probably directing that at him.
Yep. She'll actually, before, maybe Yondas opens his mouth to respond, but she'll actually say something like, oh, he didn't run. He climbed up a rope, in a door, and got answers. Yondas? Talion? She turns with this like almost begrudged head nod and starts walking southwest, mostly west, so west southwest, towards Talion, clearly agitated with the situation. So unless you guys say anything else, I imagine it's a bit of a quiet walk from here.
Yep.
Are you following like immediately?
He would wait to see what you did.
Look, Ophios. Look, man, I've almost died before, okay? I've been on the ground. I don't remember a thing. Happened at least 3 times. I don't know. I think I actually suffered something, okay? I'm no coward to death, dude. Okay? I'm not. If I think I can win, then I'm not. But I don't think I can win. I don't think any of us can win. This is stupid. You've not faced a guy like this before. I don't even know what he is.
Eyes Deuce. He is the ones I hunt. He is of pure's bloods, whereas you are halves.
What are you talking about?
Yous are parents. Half human, half something's else.
We're all pairing, right?
He is the something's else.
Whatever, man. You can go die.
She kept walking on. She didn't hear that last little bit of conversation that Ophios would say to what's his name? To Yondas. Does Yondas turn and start following after her?
Is she's going back to the town we just burnt down?
No, she's going to Talion.
Oh, she's going to Talion? Okay,
she's going away.
Yes, I'm following her.
Yeah, she's heading towards that town. She's not going straight there, but she's heading towards that town for the two of you.
Ophios is gonna look at in the opposite direction as to where he would go, and temptingly want to go that way, but seeing as there's some sort of issue going on, he doesn't want to abandon you guys, and he'll begrudgingly follow behind.
Okay. And so the three of you start making your way over towards Talion. So once you actually get over pretty close to the region, which is walking for because again how quickly she's able to move. Let me just check my quick references, travel times. This is considered a kind of a mountainous region. One second. I think your base, because of her, your base speed is not 30 feet, it's 40. So after many hours of travel, you eventually are able to come to a spot where everybody's getting pretty damn tired. But she eventually comes to a spot where she throws her pack down and says, she throws her pack down and says, "All right, this is where I'll be."
Yeah,
Is this outside of town or is that in town?
It's outside of town. You can't even see the town with where it is.
I'll throw my stuff down too.
She says, "No, this is where I'll be. You guys go to Talion, right? I have no reason to be there. You guys, it's only about a half-hour walk that way. Just hook round the hill. You'll see it."
I'll pick my stuff back up.
Ophios will look at her. Giannis, are you heading out?
I'm going to the town.
All right.
I'm leaving this little
So
camp there.
once he's out of sight, Ophios will look at Rena and say, "Looks, I'm sorry, I wasn't theirs. Apparently, I was needed, and that's not acceptable. But it's what I had to do. I hope you can understand." And before she even responds, he'll walk off, following Giannis.
Okay. And she'll just kind of watch after it. So you guys continue making your way towards Talion just to find a place where you can just, again, get supplies, stock up, relax, maybe get some news, some word. The number of people that came running out of the hills last night, who knows which direction they went to. I mean, you weren't looking for tracks down the mountainside. Perhaps some of them even ran here. Maybe you could find out more information about the commander. Maybe you could find out whatever you'd like. But you're going to start heading your way into Talion. As for Talion itself, it's actually a small town, like a legitimate town that exists in the area. And an important thing to notice about it is that while it is a legitimate town, like it actually has a decent number of buildings, has a bit of outcropping, there's not much exactly by way of farmland here. There's a little bit of farms or whatever that you can see people are getting their some grown crops or whatever from. But you can also tell, for the most part, there are, and this is again what you notice kind of as you're coming in, the number of like flocks of like sheep and goats and whatnot in the area are probably more of what they're getting their supplies from, meat, something to trade with, so on and so forth, right? Because this is kind of more of a mountainous region, and like a hillocky kind of area. So as you're going into the town, you'll notice that the town doesn't exactly have a wall per se. It has a half wall that goes around the proper part of the town. So you have the more spaced out kind of like spaced out homes that are on the outside, where you're gonna have the pastures, where you're gonna have the goats and the sheep and whatnot around. Then when you get it past there, where it kind of becomes more dense, you'll see there's a decent sized half wall around the perimeter of the town. And then you can see like probably maybe some years old, maybe about 100 years old, maybe less. A portion inside the town, you'll find another half wall that goes most of the way around it, as you can imagine where the town's border used to be before it kind of expanded out to the larger outer portion. The homes here are predominantly made of wood, but some of them are actually made out of like stacked field stone. No brick or anything like that makes these houses. Some of them, the ones that are made out of wood, are actually made out of planked wood. And those are the newer ones. Some of the older homes, like the ones that were on the outskirts, are actually made out of like Lincoln log style, like, cabin style, big logs kind of like laid on top of each other. Very, very sturdy, right? Roll me a perception check as the two of you are making your way in.
Not me.
And actually, Ophios, because I think you're good at it, why don't you also roll me a survival check?
I'm not good at it. It's a 0, but I'll roll it.
Good thing you rolled it.
Okay, so the perception check. One of the things that you'll notice on your way in Ophios is that there is a good number of tracks, fresh tracks that lead into here. Now, a lot of the tracks that you're seeing are again goat and sheep tracks, but when you get past those, you're seeing foot traffic. There's definitely foot traffic of people going to and from this town. no question, and probably the locals of the town walking about. But it seems more than that, and they don't seem to be necessarily directly on the road. They seem to kind of space off of the direct walking path and kind of like around it as well. A good number of people that would have walked kind of several people wide or whatever coming in. Messy, one of the things that you notice as soon as you come walking into the town proper, like kind of like where it becomes a bit more dense, is you hear a bit of shouting and whatnot happening off in the distance. You can't quite make out the words because it's a good distance away and certainly no line of sight to the area. But you can hear some sort of ruckus happening, some sort of shouting off to the side. You don't know what it is. Now, of course, you can choose to acknowledge that or not. Doesn't really matter. But as soon as you approach the town, one of the first things that you see is, conveniently, there is a tavern directly across the street from an inn right as you're walking in. And you can notice that the taverns themselves, everything about them, seems very old, except for the signs seem very new. Like literally the chains that the signs hang from are old. The posts that they hang from are old. The buildings themselves are old. But the actual signs, maybe a year old.
New management. Meta question. I don't know if you remember this, but way back, like session 2 or session 3, I don't remember which, when I wrote that letter to my parents and I asked them to send me a book. Do you remember where that was? That I told them to send it to?
Yep, I believe it was actually Talion.
It was here?
Yep.
Okay, cool. That was my question.
Yep.
Sweet. In that case, hey Ophios, I gotta run an errand. You think you can stay out of trouble?
Yes, but before Zeus goes,
Sure.
there's tracks off of the paths. Seems perhaps a march commenced here.
I did hear some shouting when we were walking up. I wonder if what if that has something to do with it? Could be because of the fire.
Yes, keeps your wits about you.
Yeah,
I'll
you too.
be in the end, listening. Or
Sounds
not
good.
the end, the tavern.
Sounds
the
good. I
taverns.
could use a drink too. And then I'll walk off.
Okay. We can choose who wants to go first. Who would like to kind of approach the situation first? I know one of you has direction, the other one doesn't quite. Who would like to go first?
Messy.
Sure. Messy. Immediately when you come in here, you're going to be looking for a place where you can have your book sent to. Very likely, if it's going to be sent to anywhere proper because of your family's connections, the fact that your parents, so on and so forth, it's likely going to come to one of 3 places. One, the largest and most well-established inn in the area, where they would be taking in messages for patrons or future patrons that would be staying there, where they would be just kind of like a parcel waiting for you for when you check in. 2, over at, if there's some sort of mayoral hall or some sort of like town hall for the leadership of this establishment. Or 3, if this place has a post area. Many places don't. Usually just like decent sized settlements do. This is a small town, which means there's a couple thousand people that live here. Maybe 2,000 or so. So maybe here would have one.
Any armed guards nearby?
Any armed guards?
Yeah, or any guards.
You don't immediately see any guards whatsoever, no.
Okay, so no like people that work for the city.
You don't see anybody immediately, no.
Okay. The inn's close.
It's literally like right there, right as you're like walking off from him. You're gonna walk maybe like 45 steps, and you have the choice: tavern to the left, inn to the right.
I'll go to
It
the
probably
inn.
looks backwards on stream. On stream, this is probably left, and that's probably right.
Yeah, actually, for me, that's what is it? That's yeah. Yeah, so I'll go to the inn. Go to the innkeep.
Sure. So the one that's right when you come walking in. So you can walking into the inn, and as soon as you open up the door and go walking in, you notice that the furnishings, everything about this place is kind of old. It's been around for a long time, so on and so forth. Very much gives you that Tazian Dale kind of impression with the carving of the wood, so on and so forth, that happens to be there. As soon as you go walking in, you can see that there is a middle-aged Perrin man that is standing over by like where the keys and whatnot would be set, where there's like cubbies for things to be held for people, so on and so forth. In the immediate room when you walk in, there's a bit of a sitting area that's there for people that might want to kind of gather, sit, and chat for a bit rather than going outside. Maybe like they're kind of cooped up because of bad weather, but don't want to necessarily stay inside their rooms. That kind of an area down here. The entire establishment is about 2 stories tall. It's very large on the first floor, okay size on the second floor. You saw it from the outside. So you're walking in, large kind of like gathering room with a desk over there. The desk isn't like a countered one. It's just kind of like a desk.
Is this like the nicest inn I've seen in Vala so far?
Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic. Then it might cheer me up a little bit. Okay.
Oh, wait, not in Vala so far. When you were in Zatishk, there was very nice inns there. But this far north, absolutely, yes.
Okay, cool. Well, that might give me some hope. All right, so I'll go to the, I guess whoever's running the desk.
Sure. You go over to the Perrin man. That's like, he's like middle-aged Perrin man, so probably about, in his early 50s. That's not exactly middle-aged for, but, people die young. So he's starting to show his signs, all that stuff. So you go walking up to him. He looks at you and gives you a smile, and then he kind of like recognizes your clothes, even through the dirt and the combat, the filth, the fact that you jumped out of a window, rolled for a bit, fell off of a rope, and all the other filth. And he's like, please pardon my rudeness, but are you someone of import?
Yeah, I had a bad night.
You look exhausted.
Yeah, I've been out all night.
Would you like a room?
Oh, what time is it?
It's about noon, just shy of maybe like 10:30.
I'm asking that in character though.
Oh, okay. What time is it? He goes, nearly noon. Some time off.
Oh shit. Yeah, I probably need a room. What do you got?
Many different types of room. It all depends on what kind of coin you could pay. And he says, looking at you hopefully.
Yeah, I'm a little strapped on my gold right now. What do the common people stay in?
What do the common people stay in? He says,
Yeah.
Well then, come this way. And he starts kind of walking down the hall with you.
One more thing. Or I'll say this while I'm walking away. You guys have like a post office? Whoa. I had a letter sent here. I don't know where to pick it up.
Oh, yeah, there was a bit of a post. It's over by the guard station. They have an area set up outside the guard station where there's a post can be dropped off and picked up.
Do you have
The barracks.
you have a tailor?
Tailor in town, absolutely. There is a tailor that can be summoned here if you have the coin to pay for it.
Again, commoner's room, right?
I can direct you to where the closest tailor is if you'd like.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I'm sure you'd probably need clothes a bit more befitting.
yeah. Telling me.
Well, come this way. And he leads you down, like out of this room, down a short hallway. I say short hallway, but there's 6 doors off of it. 3 on either side. Each door opens up, or at least the door that he opens up for you, opens up into a room that's not necessarily tiny in size, but isn't large either. Inside the room, there's enough space for 4 bunk beds, meaning the total of 8 people to rest inside there. But the ceilings themselves are only about 8 feet tall, 7 feet tall. So the top bunk is kind of like really close to the ceiling, maybe a little bit uncomfortable.
Bonk your head sitting up.
Yeah, kind of one of those things where you would bunk your head sitting up. But the bottom bunk itself is only maybe about a foot off the ground. It's pretty low. And there's like a bit of a gap until the top bunk. But like I said, there's 4 bunk beds, meaning a total of 8 people inside there. And along the back wall, there's not like any chests or anything like that to hold your belongings, but there's 2 dressers and like a middle area with kind of like a bunch of cubbies set up into it. Somebody can kind of like take off their boots and throw them into a cubby, maybe claim a drawer, and it's very, very open for other people in there. When he opens up the door and leads in, you can see that there's a young man sitting on one of the bunks, and he seems to be reading a book to himself. Kind of like looks up at you for a second, and then he looks back down at his book, and you can hear snoring of somebody else passed out on a top bunk.
I'm gonna be kind of hopeful here. It's not bad. Yeah, I mean, it beats camp. Hey, tell me, a bathhouse.
I do, for someone who has coin to pay for it.
Everything's coin. Yeah, yeah. All right. How much for the room in the bathhouse?
So the room is going to cost you a silver a night. The bathhouse will also cost you 2 silver.
So 3 silver.
It's 1.5 gold, right?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. Think of a gold piece as like a penny, like $100, and think of a silver as like a $10 bill, and think of a copper as like $1.
Oh, okay.
Multiples of 10. That's all you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, how much does some of that tailor, do you think? Just off the top of your head.
How much is a tailor? Depends on what you're trying to get done. Are you trying to get a whole new outfit custom created for you, or perhaps something mended?
I'll just ask him. It's all right.
Not a problem. 3 silver then?
And I'll take out a gold piece. You have change?
I do. He holds his hand out to take the gold.
Yeah. Plop it in his hand.
It'll be waiting for you out front. Get comfortable. And then he steps out and shuts the door behind you.
Shit. Just gonna ask for a second bed.
Oh, you can still open up the door.
I'll get it later. I'll go when I go to get my change. I'll get a second bed.
Okay. So he does point to the guy that's when the door shuts, and you kind of like, damn it. You kind of turn around to look into the room again, and you hear the snoring once again. You see the person sitting there reading the book. They're no longer looking out of the book; they're now looking up at you.
What you reading?
A book. Points to the bunk over their head and says, "That one's taken."
Okay. Which one's not?
He shrugs. He points to the one underneath the guy that's snoring, and says, "That one's not."
Is there another one?
He shrugs again.
Okay. Cool. And then I'll turn and start to leave.
Okay. He says, "Good day," and goes back to reading his book.
He was a parent, right? They're all parent.
Not the one snoring, but you didn't get a good look.
Okay, that's fine. I'll look later. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do everything later. All right, yeah. So I'll go back to the front.
Okay. So you go back out front, and the guy's sitting there, and he sees you walking up. He's like, "Alrighty, all right, here you go," and puts the other 7 silver on the table.
Thanks. Where's the bath?
I'll have it drawn for you. Be ready in about an hour. So if you had any other errands that you'd like to take care of, it'll be ready for you then. I assume you like it hot.
Oh, you read my mind. Cool. This is nice. Nice little vacation.
Thanks. I try to run a good establishment here,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe one day the people will appreciate it.
Tough customers.
You could say so.
Hey, just wondering, who's that guy reading the book in my room? It's pretty quiet.
Um, I honestly don't know.
Is he new? Traveling?
He paid coin to be here for a few days and is been here for 2 nights.
So he's leaving soon.
Unless he extends his stay, I honestly don't know.
Hopefully I'll get that bed. Thanks. And I'll leave.
Okay, and you leave, and so you go walking out, and where are you heading to?
Let's see. I gotta go to the post.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to the tailor. I have to go to Ophios.
Okay, the tailor's
So,
pretty easy. We can get to the tailor's gonna be like a less than 1 minute conversation when we do it, unless there's something specific that you're thinking of. So you go to head to the post. So as you're walking out towards the post, do me a favor, roll me a perception with advantage.
With advantage. It's incredible. Watch me fail this one.
Why am I not seeing your dice?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either, but it's okay because I failed this one.
Yeah, I saw on one of my screens, but not on the other.
Hold on. I'm just gonna do a quick, just
Check your settings.
a quick. Is it not showing
Yeah,
up?
not showing up.
Yeah, that didn't show up for me either.
And I burned the natty 20. Great.
That's weird. Because like if I saw it dice rolled for what's his name?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything now.
Oh, you burned a daddy 1 too.
Oh, wow.
But
It's not rolling on the screen either. It's not showing up in roll 20 or on the screen.
Yeah, because like my dice are rolling up. If Ophios rolls something.
Hold on.
Mine are showing up. I already saw it earlier.
So do me a favor, go into
No,
your.
I just manually
Hey,
rolled
there it is. Now it's
Hold on.
working.
Let me try it. Yeah.
Now it's working.
Let me
Was
try
it in
off
your
my-
settings?
Let me try it off my sheet now. I just refreshed the page. I don't know. Let me try it off my sheet. Hold on. It didn't work last time.
It worked.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, cool.
okay.
All right, that was weird. Thank you. All right, moving on. So you sir, are walking towards, and you just maybe it's because you're in your own head, whatever the case may be. You don't notice anything happening in town as you ask about and find your way over towards the barracks. However, you get to the barracks. It's literally as you're kind of like come around a corner or through a couple buildings, whatever it is, to get to the barracks, and you see it like a couple buildings down. This is when you notice the noise that's coming from over there, and you remember what it was that you had heard beforehand. Oh shit! When I first came into town, I heard a commotion, and now I see it. But what you see, Ophios, is him saying, "All right, I'll see you later," and he turns and walks away from you, and then kind of like walks and stands awkwardly between both the tavern and the inn, and then kind of like shrugs and turns and walks into the inn. What did you do?
Ophios would have gone in the tavern to ask questions, just briefly, see if he'd listen in on stuff, and then he'd probably go exploring.
Sure. So you'd also walk down the same road, probably several, like after he walked into the inn, walk down the same path again, 45 steps or so, then turn right instead to go into the tavern or whichever way was which, and you go walk again. You can see that the tavern itself is full of a couple of people, not full of, sorry, it has a couple of people inside of it. 4, 3 of them are Perrin. You can kind of like tell almost immediately because they're a bit older, right? The features are standing out. But also you see a Hafue inside here as well, sitting off in the corner and having a couple of drinks.
What's an Hafue look like?
Hafue are halflings in this world. However, Hafue do not look like just a short person. They can have any color of hair or eyes or skin with patterns on it and whatnot. The particular Hafue you see sitting in the chair nearby, because it's wintertime, so it's cold. Not as cold up here in the north as it would be further down south, but you are in the mountains and the like, so it gets a bit cold. This particular Hafue, though he does have a traveling cloak draped over the table next to where their 2 empty, 1 full mugs are, Their clothing they have underneath is kind of like almost a sleeveless vest. You can tell that the vest is designed to be some sort of like protective gear, like armor. Maybe this is a person that travels a lot, whatever the case may be. But on their face, their neck, and their arms have stripes, kind of like the patterns you would see on like a tiger, right? Like you imagine like literally like a Bengal tiger or whatever, like the stripes that you would see on them. You can see those stripes. Their skin tone itself is actually a bit of a tannish color. Imagine if you, Tyler, were to sit in the sun every day for like a month's time, like kind of like the tone that you would be. Their hair color is of a light, almost almost hard to tell that it is purple. You almost get the impression that it's almost like a blonde. Then you realize the purplish tint to it as the light catches it the right way. Their eye color you can't see from this distance, but it does look like a dark eye color. And they're sitting there and just kind of like sipping at a drink and not really paying attention to you as you walk in or anything else in the room, kind of like lost in their own thoughts. Of the three parent inside the room, one's sitting at the bar and not really talking to anybody, and two are sitting at a table nearby and they're playing cards and talking to each other. Go ahead.
Does anybody look up at Ophios, or does he seem like he's in there just fine? Nobody saw him, nothing.
The innkeeper is a parent person. Once again, kind of like not quite middle age, maybe a bit younger, maybe about 30 or so. Sort of a younger parent that looks up at you and gives you a bit of a smile as you walk in, but doesn't stare or anything like that. It's kind of like a welcoming smile and then kind of like looks away.
Because Ophios was seeing that there are other kinds here, was tempted into changing his appearance into something else, but if he's noticed, he's not going to bother with it. He's going to actually walk over towards and take a seat, not right next to the Hafue, but like if there's a spot between the Hafue and the guy who's sitting at the bar not talking, he'll sit there.
Yeah, sure. So the Hafu is sitting at a table, the guy's sitting at the bar, so you kind of like sit at the other end of the bar from that guy, closer to the Hafue, but not really near either of them, right?
Correct.
And the bartender immediately comes over. We're talking like gives you like a second and a half to settle in, then comes over and says, strong or weak?
I'm guessing he's referring to the alcohol.
Good guess. Good guess.
He'll respond, whatever's the cheapest.
Nods, says, you filling up?
What's he mean by that? Like just stopping sense.
Nods and walks off, and you can see from like a large keg that he has. So like I don't know, you know what a half barrel is, right? Like
yeah,
like from a restaurant. So it's a full barrel, right? Like a large keg is kind of like lying on its side, just behind the bar, pretty much right near where the where you're sitting. So he kind of like goes over and opens up the tap, and it just free flows. You can imagine this thing's still got a lot of juice left in it. Free flows pretty heavily into the mug, which is a wooden mug. Froths pretty heavily, tightens it back up, and goes over and puts it in front of you.
How's much?
For that, 2 copper.
He's gonna. Are the triangles silver? Or is it the one below gold that's silver?
My apologies.
I'm looking at my character sheet. It's copper, then something else, then something else, then gold.
Let me look at a character sheet because it's been a while. So copper are the ones at the very top.
Yeah, but what's
the
silver?
Squares. Silver is the triangles.
Okay. How many copper in a silver? 10?
Correct.
He'll set down the silver and say, keeps the change, but first I must know. What's the commotions?
Huh?
There's shoutings outside.
Oh, I popped out for a second, asked about. Seems like some people made their way into town and they don't want to go back.
Where's the from's?
Mountain.
Acceptable. And he'll drop the silver.
Mm-hmm.
He'll take Ophios will take a small sip of the drink once the guy walks away a bit.
God, it's awful. It is. It literally tastes like a Bud Light mixed with water.
Mm.
Like a Pabst Blue Ribbon, like a fourth of a Pabst Blue Ribbon, but like 3/4 like stale tap water. Like it is like
delicious.
it is awful. Like a Bush's Light, like mixed with like fucking piss. It is disgusting.
It's fine. Ophios doesn't. He's not a. He grew up in a cave.
Yeah, but snakes have refined taste.
Okay, that's fine. That's true. So he'll take a sip and set it down and just be like, waste of coins. Muttering to himself.
Maybe Ophios likes shitty alcohol. I mean, it's possible. I know a lot of people that use like don't get me wrong. I used to buy like an 18 rack of Paps and just fucking shotgun them, and it was great because they're good for shit. But some people buy Paps because like, this is a fine beverage, glug. I'll enjoy this.
My parents invested in a brewery, and that's like the only beer I really like, and it's like really good beer. But like when I was younger, my mom, the only one she would drink was Keystone Light, so Keystone Light was like in the house, and my parents, I was allowed to like sip and taste stuff all the time, and I actually like Keystone Light. I don't mind Pabst Blue Ribbon, although I will not finish the can because the bottom of it, there's we won't talk about Pabst, but anyway,
I've literally had about 1,000 different types of beer, and most of them will be imports or microbrews, and not even exaggerate. I have a collection of one bottle of each type of beer that I used to drink back in the day, and I have easily like 400 or 500 bottles of just the ones I've collected. Never mind all the stuff I drank at like breweries and pubs and stuff like that. And I'll tell you right now, it's a place called Ebenezer's, as in like Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer's out in Lovell, Maine. That place has like so many beers on tap. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
You can go there and try like 12 new beers just in like one multi-hour sitting. You know. Anyways.
Sampler.
Essentially, Ophios isn't there to drink, but he's also not about to. He's not ready to buy a drink. He kind of just wants to hear what the guys at the card table are talking about from afar.
Okay, sure. Roll me a perception.
He'll probably stand up and walk over there, walk by them or some sort, to kind of stop by to see what game they're playing or anything else.
You said you want to pop by?
Yeah, he's gonna grab the beverage and just kind of walk by and look down at the cards and then walk away. Basically, just listening in for that moment closer.
Oh, that's fine. So you don't need to roll a perception check if that's the case. You can roll a perception if you want to hear more as you're like walking up, walking away, or kind of get more details. You don't have to though.
I'm going to.
Sure. Cool. So you definitely hear what they're talking about. They're literally just having like a little bit of a conversation about hey, listen, they're the ones that made their way down the hill. They could have run somewhere else, but they ran to the closest town. That was pretty foolish of them. Yep, I have to agree. I mean, what did they expect was going to happen coming in here? Hey, that's the way things are. The town's not what it used to be. They just need to move on and move out. Mm-hmm. They do. There's a wall here for a reason. And so they kind of like have a conversation about that. Looking down, they're playing with a standard playing deck. You know what I mean? So you can imagine it's similar type of kind of like if you were to pick up a bicycle deck, similar to that, but very, very heavily like themed. You know what I mean? So instead of like just like it's a queen card, it's like like a super fancy looking card and stuff like that on one face, but very plain. When I say the back side is very plain, I mean it's literally just a flat black, like a matte black color. And so that that's kind of what they're playing with. What game they're playing, if you were to guess really quickly, an equivalent of like a rummy.
Okay, and so basically they're talking about a bunch of people coming into town, and obviously there's some sort of commotion with regard to that because what did they expect? I'm guessing it would make sense if I guess the slaves ran down from the other town. I don't know. What would Ophios know here? Instead of walking away, Ophios would kind of say, "Who arrives in towns? What's happening?"
You say that look down at these two?
Yeah,
they both kind of like jump to a start, and one looks up at you and is like, "Whoa, that's a weird accent you got there."
sorry. I was.
The other one's like, whoa, it's a lisp. It's like, oh, sorry about that. It's a weird lisp you got there.
Thanks.
They're so
Anyway.
open-minded.
Ophios just kind of shakes it off. He's used to people reacting negatively to his voice anyway. And he'll just goes, so what's this commotions? What's these peoples and towns? What's happening?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, apparently, did you see the fire in the hills last night?
Yes, I saw some lights or smokes.
Yeah, those fires are bright enough that we could see them all the way down here, and that's miles away. Anyways, it seems as though up on Adlama there, some of them broke free, and they thought it'd be a good idea to come to Talion. You know, it's where they're from and whatnot, and they thought it was still their town. Listen, it ain't your town. It ain't your tavern. It ain't your inn. It ain't your neighbors. Sorry, it's time to move on. I mean, realistically, they're just gonna get a bunch more years thrown onto their backs, or killed after this one. Brought it on themselves.
After that, looking at the cards, would he have been able to tell who was winning? Or maybe see their hand as he approached?
So you would just kind of take a glance at like who's winning or whatever.
Yeah.
Roll me your perception. Roll me an intelligence on this one.
Intelligence?
Yeah, because you don't have proficiency in playing cards.
Oh, great.
The one that was like, whoa, dude, it's a lisp. That guy is the one that is clearly winning right now. Now this is Rummy. So I don't know if you're very familiar with Rummy, but it's like
I know Rummy.
Okay, cool. So you can tell clearly he's setting the other guy up. Like you can see that he's more or less waiting for one card and he's going to be able to go out. And you saw in the other guy's hand he has 3 aces. Sorry, not 3, 2 aces.
Mites wants to plays when you have the chance. He says to the one guy, and then walk away.
To the losing guy?
Yeah.
He's like, and the other guy like bad up bluff. He's like, what? No. It's like shit. And the guy's like, oh god. Like he realizes, oh no, these aces are burning a hole in my hand. I gotta get rid of them. That's 30 points. 30 points, 2 aces. I gotta get rid of that. So if you don't know how to play Rummy, I'm sorry. So
yeah.
So Messi's sitting there like, I'm not old. And so they you go over and you sit down. Do you do anything else while you're inside this tavern?
He was gonna he probably would have offered one. He would have set down his drink at that table and gave it to somebody else, and then he'd walk over to the other dude, the non-parent. I can't think of his name. Afue, yeah.
Yeah. Do you go over and you kind of like stand in front of him? You're big. He's small. He notices you. He looks up.
What brings you into towns?
It's racist.
No, he's approaching very calmly and just saying, "What brings you into towns? You seems like you've are ones for travels."
He looks at you and kind of like taking you in for a second and goes, "What brings you into town?"
He sounds like Yoda.
Just happens to be a place to stops for the moments, but the place I'd likes to go to is, of course, in flames.
Where?
He would kind of gesture to the other town, whatever direction that was with.
Adlama, the slave camp?
Yeah, he wouldn't say Adlama, he'd say up there.
So like gesturing like up the mountain or wherever?
Yeah.
He shakes his head. Doesn't say anything, just shakes his head. Like, doesn't agree. Not like disapproving.
Cares for another's drinks? Because he sees that he has multiple there.
Yep. He looks down at his. It's about 3/4 full.
That's what I was hoping was going to happen.
Puts it down, slides it across, and says, "If you're buying."
Ophios would pick it up and walk over to the bar and say, "Get the man another's."
But bartender looks at you and says, "Looking for work?"
Knows. I'm just buying him a drinks.
Nods and says, "That'll be a silver."
I drop a silver down.
Okay. Fills it up and hands it to you to carry over there.
And then he'd say, "So again, what brings you to towns?"
You put down the drink. Do you sit down with him or you stay standing?
He'd sit.
Okay. He'll look at the drink and he'll kind of chuckle. Obviously, the two previous drinks, the one you just chugged, kind of go into his head a little bit. He'll chuckle at the fact that you more or less just like, all right, now answer my question. And so he's like, well, I'm just passing through myself.
Where's you headings?
North.
Does Ophios know anything about the Fue at all?
Not really. You know that they're from the deep, deep rainforests to the northeast. But he's probably not heading east. Otherwise, he'd said east.
Yeah. You from east?
Yes. North and east, but that's not where I'm going. I'm going north.
Right. But I'm just trying to get to know you. Talks with you a bit. Everybody else here seems preoccupied. Old man's down there. Uninteresting.
You want to talk to stranger because you stranger in Len too. Okay.
The fucking Yoda.
Yes.
Ophios would just look at him and just shrug his shoulders.
Well then, if you must know, I want to go to north to Kurzwald.
What's your cursing of vaults?
It is a place called Kurzwald. It's town to the north. It is where very good weapons can be created. They could be created in Adlama too, but some choose to go to Adlama, he says, looking at you, and some choose not.
Yes. I'm not heading to Adlama's for purchase. I'm heading theirs for other reasons. Meetings of sorts.
He shrugs. We all have our path in life.
So, are you a craftsman, or you looking to buy some weapons?
I'm looking to buy something for someone.
Not for yourselves.
Not for myself, no. I'm not much a fighter. Look at me.
I could see you winning some fights. If we started a bar fight here, I'd rather have Zeus on my sides than any of those fours.
Well, if a bar fight started here, I could imagine you would, all you'd be seeing is me leave. Yeah.
I'm not looking to start the fights. I'm merely pointing out. I respect Zeus.
I'm glad that you came to respect me so quickly, but again, I'm not looking to get into fights or even be near them. My job is to go places quickly and bring things back. I move quickly.
Here's the messengers, boys. Don't you want something else?
Is this a question about whether or not I'm satisfied with my place in this life?
Whether there's not too satisfied with your jobs, yes.
He leans in, like closely, and gives you a look that clearly his eyes are like glossed over. Clearly he's drunk, and he's like, "But you don't know who I get things for, or where I bring them to."
Wells. Whose do you do it for then?
And that would be Hafue's secret.
The light side of the Force.
At this point, is it an aggressive action if I cast hex on him?
I mean, since he can witness you doing it, it's one of those, he probably witnessed you doing it. Other people in the room could witness you doing it too, potentially.
Then, yeah. Ophius would say, fair's enough. Gives me a moment. And he'd look at the bartender and say, do you have facilities?
You say to the bartender?
Yeah.
There's no house.
Ophius looks at him, expecting him to point which direction.
It's out the house.
Is there a spot within? He essentially wants to sneak away into the corner to cast hex on this guy.
I mean, the place is open. There's not really much of a corner. It's not a particularly large place.
He'll walk outside to act like he's using the facilities, and go disappear somewhere where nobody is looking.
Okay.
And he's going to. No, he's not going to change any stuff. And then he'll walk back in.
Okay.
And again, approach him and say.
As you're approaching, he's like, ooh, ooh.
Pushes it towards me. He'll sit down instead of taking it himself and just say, "So, what kinds of weapons can be crafted at whatever you called it?"
Curse Vault. There's many weapons that be made there. They're masters of working with different types of metal.
What kinds of weapons are you getting? Just curious, seems as it seems you're probably getting the best.
If you want to know, there's a type of metal that can be worked if you work it the right way without working with any fire. It requires a firm hand, lots of heavy banging, and someone that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Ophios is staring, listening intently.
It's called cold iron. It's good for killing them, the pointy-eared ones.
So he's the one who's killing lopers as well. I see. Perhaps that's what you're looking to get. Have his things against the pointy ears.
Oh, not all of them. The pointy-eared ones. They some of them are really nice and stick to their grove and can be helpful with the people around or keep to themselves. And some of them are just downright bitches that need to be slain.
Likes the ones that's in charge of any gesture instead of saying the town.
There's one up there?
Ophios would just look at him like waiting for insight on his reaction. Like, is he interested in it for the sake of killing, or is he interested in it for the sake of
genuinely surprised?
Genuinely surprised.
Mm-hmm.
He would just, at this, Ophios would sit back. Could be not. Information requires information.
I didn't know that the temperatures around mountains got warm enough that such a large oak could grow.
What? Is he talking about something other than a loper?
He's not gonna tell you. Oh, this guy actually is talking about all the presidents of the United States. For all you know, it could be.
Ophios is gonna look at him puzzled.
I guess it does. I didn't know. Sorry.
What is this about an oaks?
Oak tree. They can't go too far from their oak tree.
What can't go far from an oaks trees?
The pointy-eared ones, the dryads. They can't get too far from their oak trees. I didn't know oak trees could grow in such a cold place and high altitude.
Triads.
What was the D? Dryads. Dryads. Pointy ears, high cheekbones, narrow almond-like eyes. Look kind of like an old parent, but not old.
That's how I described the guy earlier.
Oh, I know. Ophios understands now, but he's like, these don't need oaks trees.
Yeah, they do. They have to stay within so many miles of their oak tree, otherwise they start to wither.
I wonder if we burned it down. But I'm not gonna say that out of character in metagame. So.
Ophios is again gonna lean in and say, "Whose these works for us? This is intriguing for us. I have reasons."
Taps on his mug.
I'll get you drinks, but first you answers.
Got dry mouth.
Ophios is gonna walk back to the other table where the cheap stuff is and bring it back.
You put it in front of him.
Yep.
He takes a sip. Sprays it everywhere. What the hell is this?
You just said your mouth was dry. It's liquids. It's does the jobs of wettings. Now, if you want the better stuffs, tells me's.
I'm almost afraid you're gonna make me drink this. Ugh. This is awful. Yeah, my wife.
Lies.
Not lies, my wife. She's a warrior. In my town, my wife is the warrior. She protects the town from the pointy-eared ones. She kills them if they get out of line, or works with them if they're friendly. Dryads can be fickle. Sometimes it's just a little bit of tree rot turns them sour.
Ophios will raise his hand again and ask for another from the bartender.
Brings it over. Expects a silver. Assume you give it to him.
Yep.
Oh, God, it's still not getting... Hold on. Last little, like spittle at the bottom he takes into his mouth is like... Most of the flavor's gone. Puts it down there again.
Would you be interested in purchasing something for me from that place?
Yeah. What would you like?
At that, Ophios would pull out his weapon. Same's as this.
I think more accurate.
Okay. Same's as this, but like you said, that's kinds of irons.
He's like, yeah, And he holds out his hand.
How much?
I don't know how much this cost.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
I-
have to bring it with me so they know what they're making. Because you have a unique weapon, don't you? You have a falchion.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted the same exact one, you could be a little bit less. If you're like, no, it doesn't have to be exactly like this. That's fine too.
Doesn't have to be saints. Just able to be wielded ones or two hands.
Not a problem. I'll have them. I'll have them get started on that one for you. You'll have to go up there to pick it up when it's done.
Fair's enough.
What's
As
the
long
name?
as I don't. Ophios. Why are you laughing,
He nods.
Jesse? I suppose I pays when I gets theirs.
He nods. Yep.
Acceptables. Thanks yous for your time.
Oh,
And
not a problem. Ophiosis.
and then he would order another beer, pay the silver, and walk out.
Oh, he sees another beer coming his way. It's already canon in accordance to Finn that they can outdrink a Perrin. You know, any Perrin trying to drink against a standard Fouet, like a Finn, would be a little bitch and would get all sorts of drunk. It would vomit everywhere. More or less, it's a bad idea for a Perrin to try to outdrink because that Perrin would look like a fool, just like a damned fool, wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? Wouldn't they?
And at that, he's gonna leave the tavern and head into town to try and figure out what's going on with this commotion. Obviously, understanding that slaves came down the mountain, and that this used to be their town and people took it over. Clearly, the commander took it over.
And you start making your way over to that direction. And we'll take a break and be back after this. And it goes on and on, my friends. People started singing it forever just because. And they could tell you.